All units, shots fired. 3300 block, 15th Street, NE. Keep the line clear. Let's move.
Detective, over here.
It was just after midnight, on August 13th, 2025, when the quiet hum of 15th Street NE was shattered by a sound no one ever forgets: the sharp crack of gunfire cutting through the summer air. Neighbors rushed to their windows, hearts pounding, scanning the dark street. A woman lay motionless near the curb, her phone still glowing beside her, its cracked screen reflecting the faint red and blue lights that were about to flood the block. Her name was Mignon Brown-Massey, and before the night was over, that name would become a haunting echo in every corner of the neighborhood. Mignon wasn't the kind of person who belonged in a story like this. At 32, she was known for her quiet strength and contagious laugh. A single mother who worked 2 jobs and still found time to tutor kids in her neighborhood. People said she had a way of making everyone feel seen, even the ones the world overlooked. "You good?" she'd always ask, even when she wasn't. But on that humid August night, something or someone decided she would never ask that question again. Detectives arrived quickly, the street sealed off by yellow tape that fluttered in the night breeze, like ghosts of unanswered question. There were no witnesses who saw the shooter. No cameras caught the moment. All anyone knew was that Mignon's car door was open, her purse untouched, and her expression frozen between shock and recognition. Hinted that she might have known the person who pulled the trigger. Her friend Danielle told investigators she'd been scared lately. She didn't say of what, just that she felt watched. A week before her death, Mignon had posted something cryptic on social media. "It's crazy how close evil can live to you and still smile in your face." No one paid much attention then. Now those words felt like a message, a clue hidden in plain sight. As police combed through her phone records, something didn't sit right. There were repeated calls from an unknown number in the days leading up to her death. The messages were deleted, but tech experts managed to retrieve fragments. One line read, "You shouldn't have told him." Another said, "Meet me on 15th, just us." Who was him, and what secret had Mignon revealed that was worth killing for? Detectives began to suspect her death wasn't random. It was personal. Someone wanted silence. Someone wanted control, and that someone was still out there, watching, waiting for the case to fade away like so many others. But there was something they didn't expect: a neighbor's doorbell camera from across the street. It didn't capture the shooting, but it did capture a shadow. A tall figure in a hoodie pacing near Mignon's car minutes before the shot. He turned once toward the camera, and though the light was dim, his body language stiff, anxious, almost trembling, suggested someone who knew exactly what he was about to do. Was it a jealous ex, a friend she'd confided in, or someone she had trusted with a truth too dangerous to keep? As the city woke up that morning, headlines spread across every feed. Woman found fatally shot in Northeast D.C. No suspect identified. To most it was another statistic. To those who knew her, it was a wound that refused to heal. Danielle still drives past that block sometimes. She swears she can feel Mignon's presence there. The smell of her perfume lingering near the corner. The faint hum of her favorite song playing from a passing car. She didn't deserve this, she whispers every time. She was trying to do the right thing. But maybe doing the right thing was exactly what got her killed. Because the deeper detectives dug, the clearer it became. Mignon Brown-Massey might have uncovered something. Something about someone powerful, dangerous, and very close. And the night she died wasn't just a random crime. It was a message. Detective Marcus Hale had seen plenty of murders in his 20 years with the DC Metro Police. But something about Mignon Brown-Massey's case clawed at him in a way he couldn't shake. Maybe it was the way her eyes seemed to be looking at something, someone, in those final seconds captured by a neighbor's blurry camera. Maybe it was the silence that followed, the kind of silence that means people are afraid to talk. 3 days after the murder, Hale and his partner, Detective Rivas, sat in their unmarked car outside Mignon's apartment. The air was thick with humidity and unanswered questions. Hale took a sip of cold coffee and stared at the cracked screen of Mignon's recovered phone. She knew whoever did this, he muttered. This wasn't random. This was personal. Inside her apartment, nothing seemed out of place. Neat, clean, almost too clean. But when Rivas opened a small drawer near the bed, she found a folded note wrapped in clear tape, tucked beneath old bills and family photos. The handwriting was shaky. If something happens to me, look for the black car. He always parks near the 15th Street alley. The date on the note was just 2 days before Mignon was killed. That same afternoon, Hale requested traffic cam footage from the area. Hours of video poured in, endless cars passing through. But around 11:40, just minutes before the gunshots, a black Dodge Charger appeared on screen. No headlights, windows tinted dark. It circled the block twice before stopping across from where Mignon's car was later found. Then a shadow stepped out, walked toward her, and vanished from view. The plates were partially visible, enough to trace the car to a man named DeAndre Dre Collins, 34, a local mechanic with a history of small-time charges, assault, intimidation, and one dismissed domestic case. When detectives checked Mignon's call records again, that same unknown number she'd been texting belonged to a prepaid phone, purchased at a convenience store 3 blocks from Dre's shop. Rivas exhaled. "That's our guy." But Hale didn't answer. He knew better than to jump too fast. "Maybe," he said quietly. "Or maybe he's just the one they want us to think did it." When they brought Dre in for questioning, his eyes were bloodshot, his voice steady but defensive. "She used to come to my shop. Yeah," he admitted. "Got her brakes done, oil changed. She was nice, but I didn't hurt her." Hale leaned in. "Then why were you on 15th Street the night she was shot?" "I wasn't." "You sure? Because we've got a camera that says otherwise." Dre's jaw tightened. "Then your camera's lying." He asked for a lawyer soon after. That night, back at the precinct, Hale couldn't sleep. Something about Dre's tone. It wasn't panic. It was exhaustion, like a man caught in someone else's web. Hale dug deeper into Mignon's life, her messages, her co-workers, her friends, and found one name that kept resurfacing in conversations and group texts. Andre Wyatt, a city council staffer, charismatic, married, and last month, Mignon had tagged him in a post that simply read, "Some truths are too heavy for secrets to hold." The next morning, Hale tried to reach him. Wyatt's assistant said he was out of town for business. But that night, an anonymous envelope arrived at the precinct front desk. No return address, just a flash drive inside. When Hale plugged it in, a single video file played. It showed Mignon sitting in her car talking to someone off camera. Her voice trembled slightly. "If this gets out, they'll come for me," she whispered. A man's voice replied, calm but cold. "Then you shouldn't have talked to the cops." The screen cut to black. Hale froze. The voice wasn't Dre's. It was someone older. Smooth. Confident. The kind of voice used to giving orders, not following them. He turned to Riva. "We're not dealing with street violence anymore," he said quietly. This goes higher. And somewhere in the dark corners of D.C., the person who pulled that trigger realized the walls were closing in. Because the dead can't talk, but their secrets always find a way to speak. 2 days later, the flash drive was gone. It wasn't logged, wasn't signed out, wasn't misplaced. It simply vanished from evidence. Detective Hale stared at the empty slot in the evidence locker, his pulse heavy in his ears. He knew what that meant. Someone inside the department had touched this case. Someone who wanted it buried. Riva swore under her breath. "Marcus, this is getting bigger than both of us." He didn't respond. He just walked to the window of the precinct, watching the rain smear the city lights into a blur of red and gold. He'd seen corruption before, but this felt different. This was deliberate. And Mignon Brown-Massey was dead, because she stumbled into something she was never meant to see. That afternoon, Hale met quietly with an old contact, a retired journalist named Lena Torres, once known for exposing city scandals. She looked older now, her hands shaking slightly as she lit a cigarette. "I remember her," Lena said, exhaling smoke. Mignon came to me 3 weeks before she died, said she had proof of something dirty, city contracts being funneled through fake community program. She said someone was laundering money through a charity linked to the councilman's office. Which councilman? Hale asked. Lena gave him a look that said everything. Andre Wyatt. The name hit like a hammer. The same man whose voice they'd heard on that flash drive. The same man who had vanished from D.C. the night after the murder. Hale leaned forward. Did she give you anything? Documents? Photos? Lena hesitated, then slid a small USB stick across the table. She said if anything happened to her, this should go to the police. But the last time I trusted the police with evidence, it disappeared too, so I held onto it. When Hale opened the files that night, his screen filled with spreadsheets, payment trails, fake invoices, money routed through shell organizations, with clean names and dirty routes. One of the transfers was dated August 10, just 3 days before the murder, the proving signature, Andre Wyatt. And below it, another digital sign-off from someone Hale didn't expect. Deputy Chief Harold Benton, Hale's superior officer. Rivas stared at the screen. He's your boss, Marcus. I know, Hale said quietly. And if Benton's in on this, we're in serious danger. The next morning, things started to move fast. Hale received an email marked urgent. Internal review. He was being reassigned. Effective immediately. The Mignon Brown-Massey case was now under federal review. Except there were no federal agents. No paperwork. Just silence. That night, Hale's car alarm went off. When he went outside, he found a single note taped to the windshield. Stop digging. She's gone. Let it stay that way. But he couldn't. The next day, Hale met Rivas in a diner off East Capitol Street. They're cleaning up. He whispered, if we don't move fast, everything disappears. Rivas nodded. Then we leak it. Lena Torres still had her old media contacts. Within 24 hours, encrypted copies of the evidence were sent to 3 investigative journalists and 1 federal watchdog group. The story broke online late that night. Murder of D.C. woman linked to political corruption. Evidence points to council staffer. Chaos followed. Wyatt's office released a statement calling it a baseless conspiracy. Benton denied any connection. But when federal agents finally stepped in, they found proof that Wyatt had fled the country. And then 1 week later, a black Dodge Charger was found abandoned in a parking garage near the river. Inside was a prepaid phone, wiped clean, but tucked into the glove compartment was a photo. Mignon and her young son at a park smiling. On the back, written in her handwriting, if I don't make it, tell my boy the truth matters. Hale stared at that note for a long time. Then he placed it in an envelope and drove to her mother's house. When she opened the door, her eyes were tired but steady. Did you find out who did it? She asked. Hale hesitated. We found out why, he said softly. But the people behind it, they're still out there. She nodded slowly, tears sliding down her cheeks. Then promise me one thing, detective, she said. Don't let them make her story disappear. He promised, and he kept that promise by leaking every last file to the press, even if it meant ending his career. Because in a city where lies build empires, truth is the one thing powerful enough to burn them down. If this story moved you, don't just scroll past it, share it. Because sometimes justice doesn't come from the courtroom. It comes from the ones who refuse to stay silent. Weeks passed, but the city never slept. The leak had exploded like a bomb. Every news outlet in Washington was covering the corruption scandal. Names, photos, secret payments, and one central headline, Detective Marcus Hale exposes cover-up in murder of local woman. But for Hale, it didn't feel like victory. It felt like exile. They suspended him within 48 hours for breach of protocol. His badge was taken, his desk cleared out, his reputation dragged through the mud. Reporters camped outside his home, twisting the story into whatever version sold the most clicks. The rogue cop, the whistleblower, the traitor. Inside his small apartment, the walls felt like they were closing in. His phone never stopped buzzing. Anonymous messages, threats, warnings.
You think leaking files makes you safe. You're next. He'd grown used to danger, but this was different. This was invisible. Political power, money, influence. Enemies that didn't carry guns. They carried silence. Then one night, just past midnight, there was a knock at his door. Hale froze, hand instinctively reaching for the old service weapon he kept in the drawer. He opened the door slowly. It wasn't a threat. It was Lena Torres, the journalist. She looked pale, tired and terrified. "They're watching me," she whispered, stepping inside. "My apartment's been broken into. They took my laptop. The files, they're gone." Hale ran a hand through his hair. "Not all of them," he said, pointing to the hard drive on his table. "I made copies." Lena looked at him with something like admiration, mixed with fear. "You know they'll come for you, right?" "I know," he said, "but I can't stop now." Outside, sirens wailed somewhere in the distance. Fitting, he thought, because this city screamed even when no one listened. Days later, the pressure reached boiling point. Congress announced a formal inquiry into the D.C. corruption case. Wyatt was officially listed as a fugitive. Benton, the deputy chief, resigned for personal reasons, but everyone knew what that meant. He'd been cornered. Then came the twist no one saw coming. A security camera caught Benton meeting with an unknown man in a parking lot on the outskirts of the city. Hours later, his car was found submerged in the Anacostia River. Inside the glove box, nothing, but his phone history showed a final outgoing call to Andre Wyatt's assistant. The city went quiet again. Too quiet. Meanwhile, Hale had gone dark. No social media, no interview, no public appearances. He rented a small cabin an hour outside the city, but even there, the weight of Mignon's eyes in that photo haunted him. One night, he found a letter taped to his cabin door. No return address, no signature, just 5 words scrawled in ink. "You did the right thing." He didn't know who sent it. Maybe Lena, maybe someone inside the department who still believed in justice. But it didn't matter, because somewhere out there, Mignon's story had lit a fire too big to snuff out. Podcasts picked up her case. Activists started a foundation in her name for victims of unsolved murders. Her son, now living with her mother, was interviewed months later. He said, "I don't remember everything about my mom, but I know she wasn't scared to tell the truth." And Detective Marcus Hale, once branded a traitor, became something else entirely. To some, he was a man who broke the rules. To others, he was a man who reminded them why the rules needed to be broken. He returned to the city quietly one afternoon, walking past the corner of 15th Street NE, where it had all begun. The flowers people had left for Mignon had long faded, but one thing remained. Her name sprayed in bold white paint on the wall. He stopped, touched the cold brick, and whispered, "You didn't die for nothing." Then he turned and walked away, not as a detective, but as a man who'd seen what truth costs, and what silence destroys. Because justice isn't always delivered by a bad, sometimes it's carried by those willing to lose everything just to make sure the world remembers the truth. If this story moved you, don't just watch, share it. Because sometimes the crime isn't what kills the victim. It's what everyone chooses to ignore afterward. The screen fades to black, and for a few seconds, there's nothing but silence. Then a low piano note echoes, soft, steady, like a heartbeat refusing to stop. The narrator's voice returns, calm but heavy, the kind of tone that carries truth like a confession. Some crimes don't end when the police close the file. They keep breathing in the cracks of the city, in the memories of mothers who can't sleep, in the guilt of those who stayed silent, in the shadows of people who once looked away. The faint sound of rain begins, falling against pavement, just like that night on 15th Street. Mignon Brown-Massey wasn't famous. She didn't have power, or money, or protection. But she had something far more dangerous in a city built on lies. She had the truth, and for that, someone decided she didn't deserve to live. The music swells slightly. Detective Marcus Hale lost everything trying to tell her story. But maybe that's what justice really is. Not the kind that comes with verdicts or headlines, but the kind that survives in the hearts of those who refuse to forget. A pause, so if you ever pass a place where someone's truth was silent, stop for a second. Remember their name, because forgetting, that's how the next one begins. The rain fades out, only the soft piano remains. Then the screen slowly fades to a single line of text. In memory of the silence, truth never dies. And just before the screen goes dark, the voice returns one last time, quiet but piercing. If this story moved you, don't just scroll away. Share it. Speak it. Because somewhere out there, another Mignon is still waiting for someone brave enough to listen.